All right, so in this video, we're going to go over simply how to create a title in Premiere Pro. All right, so let's get into it. So this is the same project that I've been working on, my Black History project. Just, that's the project that I'm working on right now. And so what you may be like is, okay, in Premiere, how do you create this title? So it's actually very, very easy. So first off, what I would do is I would go over to this panel of tools, or you could call it a tools palette or whatever you want to call it. But there's different tools over here that can help you work. So just looking at a few, you have the selection tool. So with this, you notice that if I hover over it, it says selection tool, and it also has the letter V. So that means that you can press that on the keyboard to access this, right? So with that said, this is used to move stuff around. So you can move clips around with that, right? So I'm gonna go to this clip, or not this clip, but this tool down here called the type tool. So I'm gonna click on it, or on my keyboard, as you saw, if I hover over it, I can press the letter T on my keyboard, and it'll be highlighted. So from here, I clicked on my text tool, and I'm gonna simply go up to this screen, and I'm gonna click on it. So I click on it and my text box pops up. It's just that simple. So you notice I have this text box that pops up with this red outline around it or border. And also you have this new clip, or this new graphic text, clip that's come up. So anyway, it's there. So from here, I can type my text. So I'm going to type in John Singleton. Boom. And so from here, I'm going to make my stuff full screen. So there we go. Good. So on here, let's imagine that I love that. So I want to move it over because that's kind of, too much on the right, and I want to even it out. So in order to move it, guess what? I can go back to this selection tool. So I can click my selection tool like that. And then as I go back over to it, I can move it around. So you might be wondering, why is this circle here? So this is called the anchor point. You normally want to move that over to the center. And again, I'll explain more of that later, but whenever you see it, just kind of move it back over to the center as best as you can of your title. So what are these little dots? What can they do? Well, if you drag it out, it can make your text bigger. And if you drag it in, it can make your text smaller. That's what it does. Makes the text bigger or smaller. So next up, we're going to look at a few things. So these are a few different workspaces up here. So over here, whenever I'm messing with my text, I like to go to the graphics the work layout for that. So over here, it brings up my essential graphics panel. I got my graphics right here, my title, and I want to click edit. Okay, so on the editing feature, it just allows you to simply change up what you want to change up about your text. So with that said, color, right? So I can change this to red. Let's say I want to put that on there, and it's red. I can change this to, let's say, a different color. We're at Westlake or West Lake, so I can change it to blue. Press OK, and it's blue. All right. On the other side of it, I'm gonna just show you a few features. We have the stroke. So the stroke, what it'll do is it'll outline the text. So if I check that box for the stroke, I can simply click on that. Boom. So this is the color of it. And actually, I want to keep this white, but you could change it to whatever color you want. And so from here, let's say that I want to increase the width of the stroke. I can click and drag on this one value right here, and I can make it bigger, or I can make it smaller. But there you go. So also over here, you may want to change the text font. So I can click right here, and I can select whatever font that I want in my list. So I can scroll to this, and there you go. So I can select that. Also over here, this is the alignment area. So over here, it may be off to one side, and you may want to get it back in the center. So the easiest way to do that is I can center it vertically. So if I click on that, it's going to center it vertically. And then I have the horizontal way of centering it. I can click on that, and it's going to put it perfectly in the middle. All right. So that is that. So just looking at anything else that you can possibly do with it. For the sake of this purpose, I'm going to, let's see, I'll go forward a little bit. So there we go. So we have a background. So let's say, and actually that's weird how fitting that is, since white and blue is the LA Dodgers. But anyway, here we go. So right here, let's say that I want to give this a little shadow, right? I want to give my words a little shadow. So I can check the shadow box. And with this, let's see how dark we can make it. So we have a few different things we can change. So over here, we have the opacity of it. So you notice the higher I bring that up, the darker these shadows are right behind it. And I'm going to click back on my text. So with that said, I like that. Also, you can just kind of play with it to move, where that where the shadow is, the angle of it, and all of that. Also, with this one, you can spread out that shadow, which really doesn't look too good. And also under that, this is where you can really feather it or make this shadow softer. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna let you play with that. With that said, that is how to create your title.